after years. In the 20 years that I've lived here, we voted down reserves. So here comes 2008, real estate crisis, units go in default, we have a financial crisis, so to speak, we're trying to stay afloat, okay? Mind you, on the heels of understanding, and we're coming up for the 40 year. I mean, there's been discussion of a restoration project since way before 2008, okay? No bank would finance at that time. Judah Neskew's our accountants. I don't know if you know Carol Neskew. She's very good with relationship with Boston Popular and so forth. She said it quite simply. She says, you're not an account the bank will touch. You have too many delinquencies. Imagine we're on the heels from 2008, 9, 10, trying to recover, blah, blah, blah. On top of that, no reserves. So we had to function with operating budget. Okay. That's a hard thing to do at a property this age. Okay. Over the years, we've had a few management companies, nothing too spectacular, hence the reason why we're here, right? Phase 4 is almost done. The engineer, we're going through punch list items. The engineer is not signing off on anything until everything's complete. But as a result of not being able to get funding for this loan, or being approved for this loan, the city has imposed the violations, which our attorney will go to an abatement hearing to try to have the fines reduced. Okay? All right. So we've been working with the engineer who helped vet the contractors. The contracts that came in at the time were enormous, the amount of money. Carol Eskew said the bank is not going to approve you more than a certain amount of money. Okay? So you need to, we started an assessment in 2012
yeah.
to August of last year. We started collecting small money because we knew we had to get something to position ourselves in front of the bank to look more attractive, to look more solid. Okay. We got out of the delinquencies, we started turning things around as far as unit owners that are claiming, blah, 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 blah. Here comes the insurance hike. We went from 480 something thousand to 1.2 million. Why? The age of the roofs. So it was a perfect storm. We don't have the money to start the work. Here comes the violation fines, and here comes the insurance hike last year. I mean, you know the insurance. You guys are in this industry. We're not alone. Okay? We just went through mitigation credits for phase 4. This year, our insurance went down to, what was it? From 1.2.
It was almost half.
1.2 to 800 something thousand, which is still high for us, by the way, because we're used to paying under $500,000 in property insurance. But considering the market, okay, we'll take it. We went from 1.2 to 800 something, we'll take it.
We're not gonna.
And that is because we pushed to get phase 4, which there's issues with the upper windows and blah, blah, blah. We pushed to get phase 4 to get these mitigation inspections so we can show the insurance company in good faith we're trying to move forward, right? So we accomplished that, okay? Now they're doing 3 buildings in phase 3 and they're supposed to start at phase 1 and 2 and they haven't started, okay? Because the contractor wants to be paid out for phase 4 and blah, 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 okay? As far as the day-to-day, we don't really need an on-site manager, okay? What we need is a very strong groundskeeper right now. When the project is over, we need a skilled maintenance person to help maintain the project, the investment that we have to put into these buildings, okay? I don't know if you went to phase 4, but phase 4 looks rather nice, right? The only thing left to do after all this is get paving quotes to see what it's going to cost us. We have some reserve in paving and seal coating, right? So we want to see how much is allocated per phase and see if we have enough to do that finishing touch at the end of the project as the phase is finished, right? All right. So right now, when we discuss amongst the board, we say, look, why are we going to invest in a high-skilled person
kind of construction company?
Oscar Construction. I think also it's the different steps, some of the people that bring in would not be ideal for me. I wouldn't have chosen.
The subcontractors?
Yes, the subcontractor. I mean, it's the normal thing in construction. When you sub out, forget it. You have no control, and so there are some things that are left to be desired. However, Ostro does go back and do it, but they're kind of like double working sometimes. It doesn't make sense. But that's their thing. If they want to keep paying to have things redone. So, in any event, but we now have, some of these buildings have upper windows. And the contractor, mind you, I'm in phase 4. I was built in 1980. Phase 4 is completely concrete, no upper windows. I think by the time the developer got to phase 4, he got tired of wood and he got tired of upper windows, right?
So
Yeah,
we need a
So,
concrete block on the first.
if you walk phase 1, 2, 3, you're gonna see upper windows. It doesn't take an expert to know, you just have to look at it and say those are original windows.
Well,
The
all of the
jealousy
windows are
windows.
original.
No,
Yes,
no,
that's
not
unless
changed
the
them.
owners have replaced them with hurricane or
Right.
impact windows.
Right.
And all the windows, regardless of whether they're on the second floor or the first floor, they're still touching or close to touching the roof line. This may be, the border that goes around, including the architectural type trapezoid windows that we have on the property. And all of those have the leather taping, or what they call it, the masking that goes around windows to protect it from water intrusion. Well, the contractor's trying to say, okay, well, just the second floor windows, okay, well, we can't change those because, okay, well then, what about if they've already replaced some hurricane windows? Because then they have the masking as well to it anyway. So you're saying if you have to replace the windows, you can't touch the hurricane windows either. Is what
The
you're saying.
problem with this contractor is the condition of those windows. We're not talking about windows that have already been replaced. We're talking about
The
windows that are
Original.
original.
70 years.
They're aluminum. The moment you remove them, the contractor doesn't want to take responsibility to bend the frame or break it. Because they're beyond their useful life. No window is 40 years, I'm sorry.
Right,
Sorry.
but they shouldn't be removed if they're not being replaced.
But the
that's
problem is
construction.
The T111 that's going to replace the party board is behind the window. So he has to remove to see the condition of the wood box and look at it to
Right,
see.
yeah.
And then there has to be an overlap, something he explained about an overlap underneath.
Yeah, there's some flashing that has to be
Anyways,
under the window,
Like,
and so the window
That would
has to
impact the
come
hurricane
out.
windows that were installed as well. It's the same scenario. There's
no,
difference.
because if the hurricane windows were installed permanent, the person who installed it would have replaced everything, the wood box and.
Well,
the
whoever
box.
installed the window systems have replaced everything too. They're not leaking. There's no water
It
intrusion.
doesn't
There's no
matter,
problem.
you don't want to wait for there's no
That's the
doubt,
okay.
there's
The
no
problem
doubt.
is it's
Okay,
you know,
guys,
Next,
we don't need to
next.
debate the windows here, that's
Right,
not what
exactly.
they're here
What I want to
for.
say is that's, like I say,
That's one of the issues
in
we're having.
Hispanic world,
Yeah.
una poco mambo is what we have here with these upper windows. That's delaying the contractor. Some unit owners have agreed, blah, blah, blah. So there's a delay in the work to continue, which there's a delay, ching, 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 ching violations, right? Which we're confident that the attorney will get an abatement hearing. Because everybody I've spoken to that's been in the same situation in the condominium has gotten drastic reviews. They just want you
Well,
to.
Attorney Lopez said it depends on which special magistrate you get, because one's is more strict than the other, and the
Yeah.
other
Okay.
silence, yeah.
Okay, guys, again, this
But
is
it-
not something we
No, no,
need to.
I'm telling them the history, Blair, okay? So they understand the history of this association. So there's a Rupo Mango's going on here. All right.
Yeah.
So everybody has their opinion, but at the end of the day, the board is guided by an engineer, period, who is also, we've contracted as to have a project manager. That's who we're guided by.
So
So
that's
the
the
engineer
manager.
is going to tell you, you need to replace your window. You know, why would you want a window system to fail? Why would you wait? It's beyond their useful life. Why would you want it to fail and then change?
Well, that's the universe.
Well, that's also an association issue because if there's a leak, the association, you unit owners will contact the association to have it fixed, and the association is gonna say, you don't want your windows.
It's your lead.
It's your meeting.
Well, if it's a leak around the windows in there, you have to replace the windows, and of course you're gonna replace them.
Anyways, that's a little bit
Get
of
off of
history.
that.
So there's been some tug and pull, friction, everything, there's a lot going on here, okay? So as far as partnering with a new management company, we're not, at least I think the majority of the board will, if they're honest with you